Hello, and I want to welcome you back to the Money Marathon. We're now going to be covering off this session about the law of compensation. Now, I learned this law a number of years ago, and the law of compensation is actually based upon the law of cause and effect. Emerson said that the law of cause and effect is the law of all laws. It is the greatest law of them all. So essentially, what does that mean? The law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect means that whatever you put out, you get back. You see, a number of years ago, there was a movie that was released to the world called The Secret. A wonderful movie, great ideas, great lessons in it, but there was confusion as a result of the complete message of how do you manifest? Well, you don't manifest by just closing your eyes and just visualizing or seeing what it is that you desire and just expect that that's going to come to you. Yes, visualization is an important part of success, and it certainly will have you attracting what you desire, but there's more to it than that. And when I say there's more to it than that, there's action involved. There's work involved. It's not enough to just sit there, eyes closed, visualizing and expect with your hand out, expect that you're going to receive the money that you desire. Now, can it happen? I suppose. Has it happened? I imagine that it has. But I believe that it's important to understand the law of compensation. The law of compensation has been established that it's based on the amount of money that is earned is going to be an exact ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. Now, you don't have to have years and years and years of training in every segment or every area of this world in order to create success. Some industries you do, depending on what it is that you're looking to do in your career or in your life. But you could just have one simple idea of a need for something or something that you know that people really want, and you could bring it to the world and have it be a big success. And we've seen people do this time and time again. The internet is filled with people who made a decision that they're going to focus on only having a career, doing work that's deeply meaningful, essentially putting their website up, maybe creating a product or a service or both or a program, and getting out there and delivering it in the world without any previous experience or credentials, and yet created great success. Why? Because their ability to do it. I've mentioned during this Money Marathon about my mentor and friend, Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor has been teaching success for over 60 years. Now, why is he a success in an area where it could be considered flooded, where there are a lot of people who are teaching success? Well, the reason why he's so successful is because of his ability to do it. He's been studying success for many years. He's been implementing what he studies, what he understands in his life. And therefore, there's a huge need for what he does. There's a big need for what I do in the world as well, which is pretty much the same industry that Bob Proctor's in. And I've been studying it for over 40 years and implementing it over 40 years. So what you really want to focus on, and this is what my friend and mentor Bob Proctor suggests, is focus on getting really good at your area of expertise. Become really good at it. Because the better you are, the greater your understanding, the more effective you're able to help other people. And when you become really good at it, good at your industry or the field of endeavor that you're involved in, there will be difficulty in replacing you. So how do you get good at it? By studying, by getting a mentor. You see, I've had a mentor for many, many years. Bob Proctor is my mentor. If I'm looking for guidance, I would contact him. Before I started marketing online in 1995, there weren't a lot of people out there that were creating success, but I had to find the people to bring in so that I could get the results that I was looking for. You must always be learning. There is definitely a ratio between those that are constantly working on improving upon themselves, on learning and expanding their knowledge and implementation, and getting better, which is number two, getting better at what they do. You want to be constantly improving upon that. You see, I also work with authors. I help authors create success. Now, when I started as an author many, many years ago, about 20 years ago now, I didn't know what was required to be successful as an author, but I knew there was a need for the information. There's always going to be a need for books. People want to be entertained or educated or both. And that is precisely what books do in all different genres. So I didn't only choose to become an author, I chose to become a very successful author, an author that is out in the world making a difference. And therefore, I've written book after book after book and learned what was required to create success as an author. Same thing for my business, established a business many, many years ago. The business is built upon the law of compensation. Discovered there's a need. People have a need for learning about success. I started creating workshops back in 1994 on Shape Your Destiny, discovering what your destiny is by connecting to your passion, by clearly setting goals that you're in harmony with, by getting out there and making it happen. Huge need for that, especially when I teach techniques that get results. So it's not only the philosophy, but it's the application of it as well. So by blending that together, by distilling it down into such simplistic terms, this creates not only delivering on a need out there in the marketplace, but doing it in a way that other people aren't doing. And that's what anyone can create their own niche. If we look at the internet as an example, $1 trillion industry, information, one of the hottest topics that's being sold, one of the most successful areas of revenue generating is in information. So we see it every day. People are just popping up and showing up and creating success. And sometimes people are looking at other people's success and go, how did they do it? How did they do it? Well, they're obviously following the law of compensation. They found an area where there's a need. They become really good at delivering it. And they created a place where the difficulty in replacing them is just not going to happen. I know that you are unique. You're going to bring something unique to the world. Maybe you're already doing it now. And if so, congratulations to you. Absolutely grateful for you. But understanding this law of compensation can absolutely change the way you show up every day. And I'll explain that a little bit further in a moment. But I want you to burn this in your mind to understand that this law of compensation is one of the laws of the universe that you need to get in harmony with. Recognize, is there a need for what you're doing or what you'd like to do? How about your ability to do it? Are you really good at it? Or perhaps you need to get a mentor as well. And is there a difficulty in replacing you? I know that no one could ever replace Bob Proctor. He is unique. There's no other Bob Proctor like him on the planet, but there's also no other you on the planet either. You're unique as well. This opportunity to create success, to create more money in your life than you've ever imagined is absolutely possible for you. And as I've been walking you through in the Money Marathon, you've got to recognize it. You got to tap into your potential. You got to bring out the best version of who you are right now. And even if you're feeling that fear, well, release it, as you know, and just move forward with great expectation. So this really, the law of compensation is about being of service. Now, I know that you're going to be rewarded when you bring something of value to the world, whether it is a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a program, whether it's an idea, whatever it is, you will be compensated when you're thinking from a place of bringing value to the world. So when you get an idea, here's what I suggest. And an idea pops in your mind, because the truth is, when you're in harmony with your result, with your outcome, ideas come to you. You heard me say it in another one of our sessions here together in the Money Marathon. Now, sometimes you won't know if your idea is a good idea or not a good idea. Creating programs, sometimes you don't know if they're going to work or not. Just use your common sense. Is there a need for what you're creating? Think about the Money Marathon. When that idea came to me to create the Money Marathon, is there a need for that? Absolutely, there's a need. Would other people want it, love it, buy it? Would I have wanted that years ago when I was in the struggle? Definitely. And if you're not 100% sure, ask around. Just ask a few people. Get a consensus, not an opinion. Get a consensus by asking a few people. But honestly, you're going to know. You're going to tap into your intuition. You're going to have an understanding. You're going to have a knowing. You will know if your idea is actually a good one or not a good one. And as I suggested, get a mentor that can help you as well. I do mentoring. I do private mentoring. I could certainly help you with that. but you're every day, you wake up thinking about, in what ways will I serve people today better than I did yesterday? How will I serve today? How will I bring value to others? And then you take action. Simple, right? Yes. But a lot of people don't live their life like that. I remember one time driving down to Toronto and I was listening to some Earl Nightingales, listening to Napoleon Hill, and both of them were talking about what we're talking about here, the law of compensation, of bringing value to the world, of being of service. And it can be done in simple ways. It can be done at you as an author. It can be done with a program. It can be done with a product, but it can definitely be accomplished. But that's how people are compensated, through the law of compensation. So I suggest understand it and follow through. And that's a wrap for this session. I'll see you in the next part of our money marathon.